Hello, today we'll be recapping the 2012 sci-fi movie, The Dinosaur Project. The movie begins and we see a note that says this film was created from over 100 hours of footage from the British Cryptozoological Society. In the present, we see news headlines that a mysterious creature called the Mokele Mbembe has been appearing in Africa which resembles a prehistoric marine reptile. Because of this, the British Cryptozoological Society has organized an expedition into the Congolese jungle to investigate. They are being led by the internationally renowned explorer, Jonathan Marchand. They will be accompanied by a TV crew and will be vlogging the experience. Back at home, Jonathan's son Luke has been expelled from school, so Jonathan is forced to take him but says he'll be staying in the hotel. Then we meet Liz, who is a medical student who will also be attending the trip. The group lands in Africa and meets up with the rest of the members. We have two men named Pete and Dave, the tour guide named Amara, and Jonathan's right-hand man, Charlie. Charlie states he has been on every expedition but he hardly gets the credit he thinks he deserves. The group boards the helicopter with their cameras rolling and they depart for the jungle. On the flight, Jonathan shows the crew sketches of two prehistoric creatures, a plesiosaur and a plesiosaur. He says they swim together and the plesiosaur is harmless, but the plesiosaur is extremely deadly. The Mokele Mbembe they are searching for is said to be a direct relative of these two marine reptiles. We then see that Jonathan's son Luke has snuck onto the helicopter as a stowaway after being told no by his dad. Jonathan wants to take him back but the pilot says there's not enough fuel to do so. Luke then sees some flying creatures out the window and wonders what they are, as they do not fly like common birds. They get closer and suddenly crash into the helicopter and blood appears in the cockpit. The co-pilot screams into the radio saying Mayday, and the group is violently thrown around. Someone says brace yourself and they hit the ground at an intense speed, and the cameras cut off. On the ground, the group wakes up dazed and coughing. Fuel begins to leak so they grab some bags and get out as fast as possible. They run for cover as the helicopter catches on fire, but Luke sprints back inside to retrieve his GoPro cameras. His dad grabs him and they sprint through the jungle and the helicopter explodes with a big cloud of smoke. Jonathan scolds Luke for his dangerous actions, and he tells the camera crew to stop recording in respect of the captain who died in the helicopter crash. Later the cameras are back on and the group hike through the jungle looking for shelter. As they walk they hear some ominous screeches and hear rustling throughout the forest. They come across a small village and find the huts destroyed and blood on the walls. Amara says they shouldn't stay here but it's late and the weather is bad so they have no choice. Jonathan chooses a hut for them to stay in and Luke sets up a night vision motion camera to watch outside while they are asleep. Inside, the group talks and they wonder if the captain sent an alarm signal before they crashed. Luke works on the satellite phones which were ruined in the crash, and Jonathan tells them they can ride things out for a few days and hunt in the forest if they need to. They wrap up and head to sleep for the night. We then see the night vision camera which picks up a pack of unknown animals moving outside the hut. The group hears the screeches outside and quickly wake up. Luke opens his tablet and they see some sort of bat-like reptile outside with very sharp teeth. They begin to attack the hunt after hearing the group and they rip through the siding with their sharp claws. Suddenly one falls in the hut and begins to attack, scratching Liz in the face. It's complete chaos, and they all sprint outside with the creatures chasing from behind. Liz is not fast enough and is swarmed by the birds and taken down as she screams in pain. The other members get to a river and find a boat and Jonathan barely makes it. They row away and they realize Liz has not made it and she was killed. The sun comes up and Luke solemnly continues the vlog as the others argue about their next move. He tears up thinking of Liz and what happened to her. He then reveals that Charlie thinks they were attacked by actual dinosaurs and Amara has never seen anything like them. Later the group spots something running in the woods and thinks the animals are following them. As they look, something forcibly hits the boat from below the water. It hits 2 more times and the group begins to try and row away. Chaos ensues and the boats collide and the cameras cut off. Once they make it to a nearby island, the cameras are restored and Jonathan says there is a hole in their boat. For now they will be forced to spend the night on the island. The sun goes down and they gather around the fire to eat. Suddenly something rustles in the nearby bush and out jumps a strange creature. Others are nearby and the group wonders what on earth they are. But Jonathan, shocked, realizes the truth and reveals they are a dinosaur called Dilophosaurus. Luke offers one some sweets despite a warning from his dad, and it hisses at him but finally eats from his hand. Luke pets the dinosaur and it purrs, but it spits some fluid up then leaves and dives into the water. The next morning Jonathan and Amara argue about their discovery and she warns him the parents may be nearby. Luke finds the Dilophosaurus playing in the river. One approaches him again and he names it Crypto. He then tells the vlog that he plans to attach a GoPro to the creature and discover where it goes. Luke successfully places it on the neck and we see the camera view as the dinosaur dives into the river. They monitor the camera from the shore and watch as it jumps through the water. It dives into an underwater cave and the GoPro cuts out. Charlie wants to follow it on a boat, but Amara yells at them saying they need to leave and it is not safe here. Jonathan agrees, but Luke and Charlie argue, saying they need to pursue this discovery. Jonathan does not listen and they depart the island and row downstream in search of safety. As they row, the GoPro turns back on and we see the view of the Dilophosaurus. It dives into some underground gateway, and the camera falls off the dinosaur. But before the camera cuts off, we see a view of more dinosaurs and the legs of something much larger. On the river, the group hits some violent rapids. Water splashes and they are tossed around in the waves as they try to steer. Luke and Charlie are separated from the others and begin to be pulled into the cave where the dinosaurs were. They put their heads down and are sucked through the cave at high speed. Jonathan and the group make it through the rapid, but he tells them they are going back for his son. Luke and Charlie come out of the cave and find themselves in some sort of river valley with high mountains on both sides. Charlie says the water is freezing cold, which means it is super deep below. They paddle through the valley and manage to meet back up with Jonathan and the others who followed them. Luke and Jonathan embrace and Luke thanks him for coming back. They plan to search for dry land, but suddenly something hits their boat and they see bubbles in the water. They try to paddle but are hit again and hear noises from below the water. It goes quiet, then a large head and neck appear. A large Elasmosaurus comes out of the water and roars at the boats. Dave moves to the front to get a good close-up shot and we see the creature has many sharp teeth, but it is not the dangerous type. As he films, something jumps out from the side and attacks them. The Elasmosaurus flees and the group struggle and panic in the water. The vlog camera bobs underwater and a giant creature swims by and the water turns blood red. Luke reaches the shore with Charlie and screams for his dad, but there is no response. Charlie stumbles and says they're gone, they're all gone. Now believing the rest of the group is dead, they climb up shore. Charlie begins looking for the dinosaur gateway, which he thinks will bring him fame if he can now find it. Luke stops and is shocked, but he manages to fix the satellite phone that he has been working on since the crash. Charlie comes out of the woods and tells Luke he found the gateway and they need to go. Luke films and follows him and peers into the hole below. He tells Charlie he fixed the phone, and he says that's fantastic, but then stares at him with an evil look. Charlie then shoves him into the gateway to kill him because he is worried Luke may ruin his grand discovery. Luke falls for a few seconds, then eventually splashes into water at the bottom. Out of breath and trembling, he climbs out and speaks to the camera. He says he is in some sort of cave and he documents that Charlie tried to kill him. We then flash to Jonathan and the others that survived. Jonathan screams Luke's name and Amara tries to tell him he is dead, but Jonathan still believes. He says he will head to the gateway and try to find them, and Pete goes with him. Back at Luke's camera, we see he runs into Crypto. He follows him through the jungle, but is split up and attacked by the bat-like creatures from the village. They chase him down and surround him, but Pete and Jonathan get there just in time. Pete chases them through the jungle and hits a few of them with his microphone in revenge for Dave's death. But he reaches a clearing and is outnumbered, and he is attacked and presumably killed as his camera cuts out. Jonathan and Luke run the other way and Luke reveals that Charlie tried to kill him. We then see Charlie's vlog and he talks about his major discovery and how he claims to be the first to see the dinosaurs. As he is speaking, he is forced to hide as Jonathan and Luke walk by. He curses, and the duo walk by and head up a steep cliff way. They take in the incredible view, then begin to climb upwards. Suddenly, a rock slide ensues and large boulders come crashing down. Jonathan is forced over a ledge and is barely able to hold on. Luke tries to help, but looks up and sees Charlie cause the rock slide and he is coming down to them. Jonathan yells at him to run and says he loves him. Then he falls off the cliff. Luke runs away and hides in the dense jungle. He hears Charlie calling his name and sees him nearby holding some sort of weapon. Suddenly Crypto shows up and Luke follows after him. Crypto takes him to the spot where the GoPro fell off his neck, and Charlie emerges with the intention to kill him for real this time. He threatens Luke and says now that his dad is gone he is the best explorer in the world. As he gets ready to kill him, Crypto appears again and spits some fluid onto Luke and runs away. Then, 2 adult dinosaurs appear behind him, who are likely Crypto's parents. They sniff Luke and smell the fluid, and leave him alone. Charlie now realizes what is happening, but it is too late and the dinosaurs rip him to pieces and kill him. Luke then ventures up a high cliff top and films himself in Crypto. He says this will be his last vlog entry because the satellite phone has broke and he needs the camera parts to try and fix it. With his last video, he shows the view from the cliff which showcases a large valley full of dinosaurs. As he signs off, we see him throw his bag full of video hard drives into a large waterfall that is nearby. We then fast forward to a news report of a missing expedition team in the Congo. They announce a team of rescue workers have come across a bag floating in the river that belonged to one of the members. They open it and find video hard drives in waterproof bags titled The Dinosaur Project. They hope these videos will help them discover what happened and possibly rescue the missing adventurers. With Luke's fate unknown, the film comes to an end.